From the Albuquerque Journal, this is the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. It's Thursday, October 23rd. Here's what we're covering on today's episode. With less than 2 weeks before Election Day, Albuquerque's 6 mayoral candidates met Wednesday for a roundtable discussion hosted by the Journal, tackling issues from immigration and federal funding to the future of the New Mexico State Fair. The event marked one of the final chances for voters to see the full field together and revealed sharp divides over how the city should engage with the Trump administration. The question of whether Albuquerque should maintain its immigrant-friendly status proved to be one of the most contentious topics of the afternoon. Incumbent Mayor Tim Keller and former U.S. Attorney Alex Ubalez defended the policy, saying the city must stand by its values even if it risks losing federal money. Keller vowed to, quote, resist any federal overreach that harms local families.
You know that I will fight for the city, and I will also stand up for our values, no matter who's president. That's why I believe you know what I will do going forward. And I also respect that some folks might disagree with it, and that's okay. I respect that. But I think leadership is also about making tough decisions. And there are fewer things that can be harder than to stand in the face of a president who is trying to literally tear apart our city. Yet I have made that decision time and time again, and I will continue to do that.
While Ubalez said,
I think we're being asked at this moment to give up our values for money. And I will never give up my neighbor for money. We have the money here. It turns out we're actually a very rich state. We have the second largest trust fund in the nation with $64 billion we're sitting on. It is time for us to dip into that. And as mayor, I will go up to Santa Fe to advocate that we build the structures and systems to replace the money the federal government will be pulling out. Because what we need to do here is protect our people. That is also means, it's nice to say that we will resist. But the real question is how, right?
By contrast, former Bernalillo County Sheriff Darren White, Mayling Jaramillo, Luis Sanchez, and Eddie Velea opposed the policy, saying it hampers law enforcement. White said Albuquerque has, quote,
we have enough criminals of our own. And let me explain to you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are here in our country illegally and who commit crimes. Those are the people. That information should be turned over to immigration.
And pledged to revive the Federal Secure Communities program to facilitate information sharing between local and federal authorities. Jaramillo said safety should take priority and that she'd work with Washington if it benefits residents. White also warned that confrontation with the federal government could jeopardize Kirtland Air Force Base, recalling the failed 1990s efforts to close it. Keller dismissed that notion, citing Albuquerque's right to govern itself without interference. While the mayor's race is technically nonpartisan, Velea acknowledged his Republican leanings.
Sure, I'm a Republican. I don't know Donald Trump, never met the guy. I watch world news, I watch national news, and I see what he's doing. I agree with a lot, I disagree with a lot. One of the things I disagreed with the most was selling public land. I wrote letters to Washington. We don't sell public land. But this is a nonpartisan election. Okay, and we have to remember that. I am a Republican, so is Mr. White, the rest are Democrats, and that's fine. But I am who I am, and I'm asking you to never mind Donald Trump and vote for the person for your mayor, because I don't know the guy. I just don't.
Sanchez, on the other hand, declined to discuss federal relations entirely, saying he wants to keep the race, quote, about Albuquerque, not politics.
We're in the middle of a nonpartisan race, although you'll hear different partisan politics come up. I was born and raised in Albuquerque. I enjoy watching these beautiful sunrises and beautiful sunsets. This is part of who we are. This is part of Albuquerque. I am running to be the mayor of Albuquerque, the leader of our beautiful city, the leader of our city that is so fantastic and has so much potential that we as citizens can actually come together and do the right things.
If there was one topic that did unite the field, however, it was the opposition to Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's proposal to redevelop the state fairgrounds into a mixed-use housing and retail project. All 6 candidates say they want the fair to remain where it has been since 1934. When discussing the issue, Sanchez said,
I actually love the state fair being where it's at, and it should be held in Albuquerque and left alone.
While Jaramillo blasted the state's decision to hire an out-of-state firm, Stantec Consulting, for $850,000 to study the site's redevelopment.
What burns me about this whole process is they did hire an out-of-state company, and they're paying them thousands of dollars to tell us something we already know. that it needs to stay there. That's what the conclusion is going to come to. And not only that, the neighborhood associations in the area, the neighbors, are up in arms about why are we spending all this money on the state fair or figuring out what we want to do with it instead of focusing on the problem at hand, which is crime and homelessness. It's almost like we're trying to take the attention from what is really going on in our city.
Keller and Ubala said limited development around the fairground edges could coexist with keeping the fair intact. Villeda proposed letting voters decide on the site's fate through a public referendum. A recent Journal poll shows Keller leading with 29% support, followed by White at 16%, while Sanchez and Ubala each hold 6%. Jaramillo and Villeda trail with 1% and 2%, but the largest block of voters, 39%, remain undecided, leaving the race wide open. Despite their divisions, all candidates agreed that crime, homelessness, and public safety remain Albuquerque's most urgent issues. And whoever wins in November will inherit a city grappling with both local and national pressures. In other headlines from the newsroom, the New Mexico Supreme Court has denied Albuquerque's request to intervene in a lawsuit accusing the city of unconstitutionally enforcing public camping bans against unhoused residents. The ruling allows the case, now certified as class action, to move forward to trial in October of next year. Albuquerque, joined by Rio Rancho and the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office, argued that a lower court's decision allowing the case to proceed was, quote, egregiously flawed and can cause, quote, immediate harm by limiting the city's ability to clear encampments. But District Judge Joshua Allison, who made the original ruling, has not yet decided the case's merits. The lawsuit, brought by 8 unhoused plaintiffs, claims the city violated the 8th Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishment by displacing people with no available shelter and destroying essential belongings like tents, wheelchairs, and food. Judge Allison previously found that New Mexico's Constitution may provide stronger protections than federal law, diverging from a 2024 U.S. Supreme Court decision upholding cities' rights to enforce camping bans. The city has since appealed Allison's class certification ruling to the New Mexico Court of Appeals. The University of New Mexico Board of Regents has begun the process of finding a new president following Garnett Stokes' announcement that she will retire at the end of the academic year. Stokes, UNM's first female president, has served more than 7 years, one of the longest tenures in the school's history. The board plans to appoint an advisory search committee and hire an external search firm to lead a national search, with a contract expected to cost around $200,000, which is about 1/3 of Stokes' annual salary. The committee and firm will identify candidates and host public forums and campus visits and recommend finalists to the regents. Board Chair Paul Blanchard called the search a, quote, important moment in UNM's history, emphasizing the need for a leader with integrity, vision, and action-oriented leadership. The regents are expected to select and announce Stokes' successor by late spring of next year. And redevelopment is finally moving forward on a long vacant 10-story office tower near San Mateo and Central in Albuquerque. The city has approved a building permit for Serenade by Park Central, which is a $23 million project that will convert the former 2 Park Central tower at 300 San Mateo Northeast into mixed-income apartments. Houston-based Silverstone Equity Partners, which bought the property 2 years ago, will begin construction as early as November, according to Terry Berner, head of the city's Metropolitan Redevelopment Agency. The project will include 110 studio and 1-bedroom units, with 41 reserved as affordable housing for residents earning up to 80% of the area's median income. The development will also feature amenities like a fitness center and shared community spaces. The city has also awarded Silverstone $2 million in funding and approved a 7-year tax abatement worth about $750,000. Berner said the project marks a major step in revitalizing 2 iconic mid-century towers, long empty at Park Central, calling it, quote, great that they're taking this on. The leading news is powered by the journalism of the Albuquerque Journal. If you enjoy hearing all of the stories we share with you here daily, please consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Journal by utilizing the discount code in our show notes. Every subscription helps support local journalism and allows us to provide you with the news that matters to you. Now taking a look at Albuquerque's weather forecast, a chance of showers with thunderstorm is possible today after 9 a.m., partly sunny with a high near 77. And as for this evening, mostly clear skies are expected, with a low around 44. To keep up with all the latest news from the Albuquerque Journal, you can visit our website at abqjournal.com. That's the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. We'll be back tomorrow.